The Final Fantasy 30th anniversary opening ceremony has now taken place, and there was a whole host of stuff revealed during the event. This ranged from a ton of announcements around games through to things that were just a tad on the ridiculous side. That's not just me being flippant or me complaining about the fact they didn't announce anything too crazy. It's more that when you look at some of the merchandising tie-ins they announced, ridiculous is just one of the words that comes to mind. They announced a new deal with Cup Noodle, which extends beyond the existing one within Final Fantasy XV. This will be called the Final Fantasy Boss Collection, and they've actually produced an Ultima Weapon fork so you can eat said cup noodles. I am legitimately not making this up. It continues though. They will also be producing commemorative wine. One set, which features a pair of Swarovski glasses, will cost £761 or $950. The others will cost £34 or £64 depending on whether you want red or white wine, or as they're calling it, Ifrit or Shiva. Next up was a range of Final Fantasy cakes, which will cost around £32 each, and then there's the customary bags and cups and stuff, which will all be available from the Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary Premium Store. Anyway, that's enough about that stuff. It's time to get onto the games. Now, I made some predictions yesterday, if you watched that video, about what I was hoping for, and a lot of my conservative predictions were actually correct. Dissidia Opera Omnia, which I mentioned as a title which we knew was coming out this year, was given a Japanese release date. It's actually coming out tomorrow if you're interested. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, was also given a release date. Now, I was actually thinking they wouldn't want to commit to an actual date and instead will go for a release window, but they have announced a release date. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, will be releasing on the 11th of June in Europe and North America, with Japanese gamers getting their hands on it a couple of days later on the 13th. There was also a brief update on the Final Fantasy XV DLC. Hajime Tabata spoke about the upcoming booster pack, which will release on the 21st of February, and they also let us know that episode Gladiolus will be releasing on the 28th of March. Episode Prompto was also given a June release window. One unfortunate prediction that I got correct was that they wouldn't show anything about the Final Fantasy VII Remake during the event, but they would hope too soon. This falls under the please be excited category I labelled, although they did show an image that looks pretty badass. In terms of where my predictions actually went wrong, well, as I mentioned, they didn't show any gameplay footage for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they didn't announce a home console port for Dissidia Final Fantasy. The others that I got wrong were more shots in the dark. There was of course no announcement for Final Fantasy XVI or Final Fantasy X Part 3, and there was no mention of the Anniversary Edition Ultimate Box. They did, however, reveal a new game to celebrate the anniversary. It's called Itadaki Street, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary, and it will feature Noctis as a special playable character. I don't know how many of you guys are actually familiar with the Itadaki franchise, but these games are absolutely awesome. They are rarely ever released outside of Japan, but if you have the chance, I would try to check out Boom Street on the Wii. It doesn't feature any Final Fantasy characters, instead acting as a crossover between Mario and Dragon Quest, but it's still a ton of fun nonetheless. It was also announced that Balthier will be coming to World of Final Fantasy as a free summon alongside patch 1.03. Much like Sora has just been added to celebrate Kingdom Hearts 2.8, Balthier will be helping to celebrate the upcoming release of the Zodiac Age. Other announcements related to a new Final Fantasy fashion line, a new manga called Final Fantasy The Lost Stranger, they reiterated the release of the upcoming Final Fantasy XIV expansion, and there's going to be a new range of Distant Worlds concerts, and for this range, fans will actually get to vote for the music they want to hear. That's pretty much it as a summary for the whole event. Were you guys happy with how it turned out? Let us know in the comments below. Personally, I was pretty happy with what they showed. My only disappointment was the fact they didn't announce a home console version of Dissidia. I mean, even though it would have been nice to see some gameplay for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I can wait for another event. I just really hope they localize the Itadaki Street game. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe, and as mentioned, our next big video is going to be the sins and triumphs of Final Fantasy VII. You will not want to miss that. Also, be sure to head to our Patreon at patreon.com/FFunion. You can find out how you can support the channel there, and you can even get your name on the end of videos like these awesome guys. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. This is Daryl, signing out. I'll see you next time.